Hey everybody, Steve here, who took my nice miniature wargaming. Welcome to the third part in my 5-part series looking at the Index Inquisition. Today we're going to be looking at the named characters. Here we go. Alright, hey everybody. So, as I said, we're looking at the named characters. There's 4 named characters for the Inquisition. Some of them you probably already know about having read the different books. Some of them just appeared. I'm going to go in no particular order here. Maybe save the crazier ones for last. I don't know. But the first one, Inquisitor Greyfax. Now, she just popped up a couple years ago, right before we got into the new edition of 40K. She was released from her imprisonment with, was it Transient the Infinite, from his collection to help try and save Cadia. Failed and ended up traveling with the Black Templars, all the different Adeptus Mechanicus guys to get to eventually to Ultramar and help in the resurrection of Roboute Guilliman. She's pretty cool. Standard lines. A lot of their stat lines are similar. Movement 6 inches, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and she has a 3+ armor save. She is a single model equipped with a master-crafted Condemner bolt gun, master-crafted power sword, frag and crack grenades, psycho grenades, and you can only include 1 in your army. So if you do have this edition of White Dwarf, follow along as we go through. So the Condemner bolt gun it's master crafted. It's like a standard bolt gun, except it does have -1 AP, and when you resolving attacks made against Psychers, the weapon has a damage characteristic of 3 for that attack, so great for going after Psychers. The master crafted power sword is like a standard power sword, -3 to AP and 2 damage, like most master crafted weapons. Frag and crack grenades are similar to all the other ones. Psycho ones are pretty cool. It's a 6-inch range, grenade D3, 2 strength, 1 damage. However, when you're resolving attacks made against Psyker or Demon units, on a roll of 6, the target suffers 1 mortal wound and the attack sequence ends. So again, pretty good for a nice little extra weapon against demons and Psychers. Not super powerful, being only strength 2, but if you do roll at 6, you do get a mortal wound. Right? Not bad for maybe chucking at, say, Greater Demon or something, or even some of the smaller ones. Maybe hopefully take one out. She does have Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry that we looked at in the last video. She does have a special rule, Indomitable. When a Deny the Witch test is taken for this model, add 1 to the total. So obviously her willpower or her psychic mastery, as she is a psyker, is strong enough that she has a better chance of shutting down enemy psychers. She has a Psychocolumn, I think I'm there saying that right. This model can target a psychic character or demon character unit, even if the character is not the closest enemy unit. Now this is nice going along with the master-crafted Condemner bolt gun. I can target a demon character, say one of the little heralds of Nurgle or Khorne, even if they're not the closest, or a banner bearer or something, and I can do extra damage against it. So it's not bad. It's good for taking out those minor characters, help remove buffs around the army. Does have a refractor field. I can talk today. With the 5+ invulnerable save, and has Unquestionable Wisdom, which is something most of them do as well. It's a one that all Inquisitors have. Friendly Imperium units can use the smallest leadership instead of on their own whilst they're within 6 inches of the model. So it's not bad. Leadership 10 is great, especially if you're using units that have a lower leadership, somewhere around 7 or something like that. Greyfax is pretty cool. She's been, according to Fluff, hunting down Necrons around the Ultramar area. Again, a big rise in prominence because of her connection to the resurrection of Guilliman. The next we have Inquisitor Cortez. He's one who's been around for a long time. He's the one with a massive Nemesis Demon Hammer, and he's got his arm out with a Cyber Eagle on it. Same stat lines as Greyfax, so 3+, 6-inch move, 3+, weapon skill, ballistic skill. Standard human toughness, strength of toughness is 3. Does have the 2+ armor save because he's in thicker armor. It does have the bolt pistol, cyber eagle, mastercrafted nemesis demon hammer. The bolt pistol is a standard bolt pistol, 12 inches. The cyber eagle is pretty cool because it's like an assault bolter almost. 24 inches, assault D6, strength 4, and 1 damage, which isn't too bad. It's a nice way to be able to continue his movement. He's a bit more mobile. He can move, use a cyber eagle, do some damage. And then the mastercrafted nemesis demon hammer. It's a melee weapon. It's ×2 strength, so it becomes strength 6. Damage or AP is -3, and it does 3 damage. So he's not bad. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 6, 3 damage. Not bad. Again, he's got Authority, Inquisition, and Quarry. A 5+ invulnerable save, thank you to his Refractor Field. Unquestionable Wisdom, like Greyfax, so they can use his Leadership 10 within 6 inches, friendly Imperium units. Now, his is really cool. He's got a spy network. Oh, if I forgot, mention it. I probably did. Greyfax is a Psyker. She knows Smite and 1 psychic power from the Telethesia discipline, which I'll deal with in another video. The same with Kotias. He's a Psyker. He has spy network. Sorry, just noticed that. When enemy units set up in the battlefield as reinforcements, you can select 1 friendly Ordo Malleus unit within 6 inches of this model. The selected unit can shoot the enemies if they were your shooting phase. In addition, once per battle, when your opponent uses stratagem, this is an important one here. This is pretty cool. This model can use its spy network. If it does, your opponent must spend 1 additional command point to resolve that stratagem. So it can force your opponent to kind of go, wow, I'm already using 2. Do I want to use 3? It's not that powerful a strategy. Should I use it? I don't know. Kind of throws their plans into disarray, which a spy network should do. Or it has no effect. In any command point spent on stratagem that are considered not to have been spent, this ability cannot affect stratagems used before the battle. So it's a nice way to kind of throw their game off of it. As I said, he's an Psyker. He knows Smite. He can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in your psychic phase, and to attempt to deny 1 psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase. Smite and 1 power from the Telethesia discipline. Excuse me. Now here's one of my favorites, Inquisitor Karamazov. He's a bit of a different kind of not Psyker, I should say, Inquisitor. He's the one who's in the giant throne. So his movement is 5. He's a bit slower because of his giant lumbering throne. It's pretty much half dreadnought, half giant seat. Weapon skill was skill 3. He's strength and toughness 5, thanks to him being on his giant throne. He's got 8 wounds as opposed to 5. Still 4 attacks, leadership 10, and a 4+ armor save. I think the reason they have 4+ armor save is because he's actually, if you look at the model, he's sitting on a throne. He himself doesn't have much armor, and it's kind of open. So not the same level of protection that the standard Inquisitor power armor have. He's got a Mastercrafted Multi-Melt, a Mastercrafted Power Sword, and Throne of Judgment Stomping Feet. So his Multi-Melt is range 30, assault 1, strength 8, AP -4, damage D6, and like any Melt-A-Gun, when you're in half range, you roll 2d6 and reject the lowest. Sorry, you discard one of the results, right? Mostly it's the lowest. You have his Mastercrafted Power Sword, which is just like any other Mastercrafted Power Sword. Strength, the strength is user, -3 AP, and 2 damage. And then he has the Throne of Judgment Stomping Feet. Now, if I may, I'm going to interrupt this for a sec, because he's on a Throne of Judgment. Excuse me. Which basically kind of looks like a Dreadnought. So if it has Stomping Feet, why don't Dreadnoughts have Stomping Feet? I want someone at Games Workshop to rectify this for me, because I'm a whiny Space Marine player. No, I'm not. It's cool. It's Strength user, so Strength 5 attack. AP -1, 2 damage. When the bear fights, it makes 2d3 additional attacks with weapons. So he could have a total of 7 attacks. All of them doing some sort of negative to the AP. So it's not bad. And 2 damage each, so you're getting 2 damage, 3 attacks, you're getting 6 damage. Not bad. Nice Authority of the Inquisition, Quarry, like the other ones. He has Unquestionable Wisdom, like the other characters. He has some other cool ones. The Throne of Judgment has a 4+ invulnerable save. He has Supreme Will, right? He himself is not a Psyker, but his will is so strong. A Psychic test is taken for an enemy model within 12 inches of this model. Subtract 1 from the total. In addition, if a psychic power manifested by the enemy unit model targets this model, roll 2d6. If the total is greater than or equal to the psychic test total, This model is not affected by that power. Excuse me. Which is really not bad. Now, any other models are still affected, but you can put down the most powerful beatdown. If he manages to beat it, it's not just cancel, it just doesn't happen to him. Completely unaffected. This goes to the character of the model, which I'll get to in a second. He also has Dread Reputation. Subtract 1 from the leadership characteristics of any infantry units while they are within 12 inches of the model. Which goes really well with one of those stratagems that we had in the last video, the Caesar interrogation, where you could actually lower the leadership by 1 of the entire army if you use the stratagem correctly. This comes to the fact that Inquisitor Karamazov is one of the most unrelenting inquisitors. His famous saying from some of the older books and fluff is what was it now? I can't remember properly. Yes, a claim of innocence is guilty of wasting my time. He put people to the sword, to flame. No one is pretty much innocent with him. He will, if you're guilty, you're guilty. That's it. So that's what's cool about him. He's just completely uncompromising, right? He's just nasty. And the model's cool. He's on a giant throne with a massive multi-melt. He's got a big sword. He's got servitors like fed into the machine of like this giant throne. It's just a really cool looking model. Very, very nasty. Now, last but not least, we come to probably the most famous Inquisitor of all, Inquisitor Eisenhorn. Now, he's cool because within his rules, there's literally 2 ways you can play him. And I'll get to him in a second. He's basically got the same standard stats as Greyfax and Cotes. Movement 6, 3+, 3+. Strength and toughness 3, 5 wounds, so on. He's an Artificer bolt pistol, Barbasator, Rune Staff, and Electrobane grenades. Very, very cool. The Artificer bolt pistol is just like a bolt pistol, but it does 2 damage, AP -1. His Barbasator is a sword. It's a power sword, AP -3, D3 damage, and with resolving attack, made this weapon add 1 to the hit roll. It's one of his favorite weapons. It's actually psychically attuned sword in the stories. It can feel chaos, from what I understand. It's very, very powerful. It's a weapon that he's had. In the stories, it even gets broken at one point and reshaped, but he still keeps it. The Rune Staff is pretty cool. It's +3 strength, AP -1, D3 damage. So if he needs to hit something a bit tougher, he can do it. The Electrobane grenades are pretty cool. It's a 6-inch range, grenade 1, strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's cool against vehicles. When resolving attack made with this weapon against a vehicle unit, an unmodified roll of a 4 to 5 inflicts 1 mortal wound on the target, in addition to any other damage. And an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts D3 mortal wounds to target in addition to any other damage. So it's, I mean, he can hurt dreadnoughts. He can hurt defilers. You can also go after stronger stuff or tougher stuff, I should say, because with his Rune Staff, he ends up being strength 6. Now we get to the abilities. This is really cool. This is where you can actually make him either his earlier form, say when he was more of a Puritan, or go for when he went full-on radical. Right? He's got Authority of the Inquisition and Quarry, Unquestionable Wisdom, that boost to Imperial units, let him use his leadership. Now it's cool. It doesn't say he has an invulnerable save. He's a 4+ invulnerable or 4+ armor save, but nothing there about a refractor field. He does have a rule called No Stranger to Pain. When the model would lose a wound, roll a 1d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. Basically, this kind of represents when he's older. He's been hurt, he's been stabbed, he's been shot, he's been everything, and he still managed to survive. Now he has 2 rules here that put him in that radical zone. If you've ever read the books, you know he goes radical, and basically the Inquisition itself wants to get him. So the first one is Malus Codicium. All right? Once per battle, at the end of your movement phase, you can use this ability. If you do, this model loses the Unquestionable Wisdom ability, so all of a sudden, no one can use his leadership, basically because they realize, oh my god, and I'll tell you why I sacked the rule here. Then set up a Demon Host unit within 6 inches of the model and more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Add 2 to the model's strength, toughness, wounds, and attacks characteristics. You'll see when we get to the units, the standard characters and units, it's pretty nasty. If this model is destroyed, that demon host is also destroyed. Now, it's something to mention that his keywords is Ordo Xenos, and yet he's summoning a demon host. If you read the books, you know why. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Go read the books. Now, there's another rule that goes next to this. Radical Bond, okay? Whilst the demon host model that was set up with this model's Malice Codicium ability is within 6 inches of the model, when resolving attack made by that model, add 1 to the hit roll and wound roll, and when resolving attack against that model, add 1 to the invulnerable save for that attack. So not only do you pump up its strength, toughness, wounds, and attacks, you also allow it to add 1 to hit rolls and wound rolls and make its invulnerable save better. That's really awesome. You basically have this really pumped up demon host. He is a psyker, no smite. He can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers. And he has a power from the Telethesia discipline. Eisenhorn's one of my favorite characters. And these rules don't really tell the whole story. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there about why he goes from being a well-respected Inquisitor to a radical. Read the books. They're fantastic. I'm going to end it there. We're done with the special characters. The next one will be looking at your standard Inquisitors and the troops that they bring with them. So next time, guys, keep rolling the dice. We'll see you later.